Good morning. Welcome to Scope this morning, and we got a special guest this morning. The articulate, very opinionated, but very valid opinions, and very respected opinions. The CEO and president of the New England Informer magazine, Doreen Wade, and the beautiful, stunning Miss Sissy is always by my side. And we want to get into 9/11 because it was such a, huge memorial services that took place in Pennsylvania, Washington, in New York, and particularly, and all over the world, Doreen. And how do you think things went yesterday with the ceremonies and everything?
I think everything went, I'm going to say as expected. It was solemn. It was not done over the top. It was a lot of respect for those who have lost their lives in 9/11.
Yeah, it was really tough. But I like the preparation they put into it. I thought this was so well done, this being the 10th remembrance year of 9/11, and I thought it was just done so well from the top to the bottom. This is finally from Washington to the people finally connected.
Exactly.
And they let private industry funded the whole thing, which was beautiful.
Yes, and I understand that yesterday was the family, and today, and for the rest of the year, it's open to the public. So anybody can go see the memorials. I guess they want you to make reservations because there's so many people coming from all over the world to see these. But I think that it's something that everybody should do, everybody should honor, because one way or another, especially because of seventh degree syndrome, one way or another, someone of us had someone who was killed in 9/11.
Isn't that very interesting? Because you could have a kin or a cousin or somebody, a distant cousin that you never met before. Maybe because you don't have huge reunions where everybody shows up, and was probably inside that building.
Yes, exactly. And I know personally because I had a couple of friends who were in that building and they're gone today.
Wow, and people, it was like you just saw people crying. On the front of the Metro on the way in, I was reading the Metro, my favorite newspaper, and they keep it real. And on the front, there was a woman laying down with her hands laying on top of flowers and just in tears, thinking about the loved one, the sister, the brother, the husband, or someone she lost. I think this is what I liked about it. And people, they were, putting poetry together, talking about the loss of their loved ones, how they feel, how they miss them. One person was inside the mother's womb, she was carrying.
Yes.
And he says, Dad, and it really touched me. He says, Dad, he says, hey, Dad, I miss you. I never got a chance to know you. I wish I did, but I love you. That was powerful, I'm telling you. Touching.
Yes. There was one story that really got to me. It was a woman who ran down, I don't know, 20-something, 30-something, 40-something floors. I forget how many, but it was a lot of floors. And coming out of that situation, she then could not deal with a lot of stuff, so she became a drug addict and an alcoholic. And today she has cleaned herself up and is starting over again.
Wow.
So that was a different look at the effects of what 9/11 did, because we think about all the people who have died in 9/11, but we also have not really looked at the people who have survived and actually what it has done to them psychologically.
Very, 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 very astute answer, very poignant one, right on point too. It leads me into a good segue. What about those psychologically? There's a lot of people suffering right now. Like you said, we got addictions now, whether alcohol, whether drugs, and maybe just holes in their heart right now that they just can't fulfill right now. And this is where, Sissy, where you come in. You talk about fulfillment. Now, a lot of these people, some of them got their fulfillment yesterday at the memorials. It seemed like some people were feeling that fulfillment that they were lacking since they missed their loved ones. And you're big on fulfillment. How large would this play in this instant? Mentally, with the people who have lost loved ones.
You mean when the people suffer?
Yeah. Tell me how fulfillment plays in, the lack of fulfillment, and how maybe the memorial now gave them some fulfillment.
Oh, I think like the memory, that one is just kind of release your pain from that tragedy, right? And also can help you to memory your loved people that you lost. So it's kind of help you to fulfill, release the pain from the past, from past tense. Yeah.
Because
So
a lot of
it-
people are
it
looking
is-
for something. They're
yeah.
looking for something. Because a lot of people, like I said, there's huge holes. Like I got wounds from watching segregation. I got wounds from watching integration. I got wounds from watching unfair employment practices, unfair. I've seen a lot of stuff. And I got wounds in me, Dorian. I got wounds all over the place. My nephew told me one day, he's a brilliant writer. And he says to me, he goes, Uncle, he goes, we were talking, and he goes, about politics, he goes, Uncle, you can't see that what I mean. I said, why? He goes, you got too many wounds in you. He says, I can't, you're not thinking, he says, Uncle, but most of the time you don't let the wounds affect you. And right now they are. And he says, I'm not going to disrespect you, Uncle. He says, but the wounds are there. So I sat down, I said, you hit me, my brother, you hit me. So I said, he's exactly right. And then I thought about that. I came back to him. Maybe the next day we started talking about the subject. And I said, you're beautiful. It will always stick with me. Because I said, I never thought about it like that. Everything I've seen, not only mentally, there's wounds in me. You know, and that's why it's very important to have fulfillment. And a lot of these people, Doreen, found that yesterday between all the wounds and the suffering, the mental anguish, you said, poignantly, the addictions. They found something yesterday.
It's like a sense of closure. A lot of, I don't want to say that was their closure, but it actually was, because they've been coming to this hole basically for 10 years. And now there is something there that honors their family, their children, their husbands, their wives. So it's almost like a closure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You know, something that was interesting said, just diverting a little bit to the right. It was like President Obama made a comment I thought was very interesting, you know, and to me I found him out of character, because normally I don't find him going this way. And, you know, it was almost like pulling out they say a Jesse Jackson, an Al Sharpton card, which I don't even believe. That's just a myth. Okay, that's just people who just don't want people to address issues and topics that need to be addressed. That's all that is. It's the same card the Tea Party waves. And so he says, our enemy sees us as one. They don't see us as a rainbow, as one people. It's interesting. And then he goes, he says further on, he goes,